Climate change is everywhere, and it is affecting each and every living soul on planet Earth. However, the most affected are women, especially in poor countries. Due to climate change, women walk long distances to fetch water, firewood, and other domestic necessities that are needed in daily lives. On the other hand, apart from the challenge of fulfilling gender roles, women also face a lot of challenges in farming, especially now when the world is facing climate change issues. In patriarchal societies, which are in most African countries, where men have a larger say, women do not have much say in social and political issues. This is also the case in the northern part of Malawi, where the women are often constrained by laws and cultural norms that limit their economic opportunities. This is even worsened by the fact that communities depend on agriculture for both income and daily food. Despite this dependence on agriculture, access to land and ownership is restricted towards women. For instance, women in the northern region districts of Karonga and Mzimba are mostly not allowed to own a big or reasonable land for gainful and agricultural production for economic independence. The case is that land belongs to male folk, so it's brothers and fathers that have control over productive land. With little land available to them and natural disasters looming, the female folk goes home with nothing. While experts advise growers to diversify, such a thing is not easy where women's access to land is limited. To offset the effects of climate change, soil degradation and erosion, farmers are advised to practice conservation agriculture. This technology enables growers to yield much more from small pockets of land despite the effects of climate change such as erratic rains. It is, however, labor-intensive, for it involves manure making, pit digging, and soil covering, among others. Women, therefore, find this difficult as they have so many gender roles to focus on. Some women have adopted change and they are growing crops which don't need much water. They grow hybrid maize instead of local varieties, use manure, soil and water management, pit growing, soil covers, and minimum tillage, among others. Despite being a widow with limited land, mother to 7 children, Jessica Kalua is a lead farmer who follows conservation agriculture. She adds that women can do better in farming if only they have land ownership rights as men. Winnie is another mother of 4 taking part in irrigation farming. Her husband left her so many years ago. She says all is well. She manages to harvest twice a year and she gets all her financial needs from the activity. But in Karonga, chiefs who are custodians of culture are working hard that women should own land.
For women are human beings. And it is unfair if men grab land from women just because they're women. So all I'm saying is that this time around, 50 years from now, our women should also have access to land.
The chief says land distribution culturally favors men since it is believed that they are breadwinners. But he was quick to point out that with gender sensitizations, his area is changing for the better, such that women inherit their husbands' lands.
If a woman is married, she belongs part and parcel of the man's land. And if the man dies, that land remains the property of the woman or his wife and children. But if a woman decides to remarry to another man, then she loses the rights to land.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has been working on leveling the farming grounds for both men and women by taking a legal action on those who refuse women land through property grabbing laws.
It's a massive campaign that comes not only through Ministry of Agriculture, but also through other partners. Our communities now realize that a woman can also have the power decision-making power over a piece of land. And that also extends to where it is a household that is headed by a female, that female should not be grabbed out of her property from land. So through this vicious circle, our women farmers have got the powers over the small land that they own. However, it is not 100%, as you have already mentioned out, that we're in the patriarchal society. But gradually, people are understanding the importance of having women empowered through the same.
Iwombe adds that government through the Ministry of Agriculture has introduced the 50-50 campaign where all farmers, male or female, are given the same opportunity in taking farming roles and sponsorship. However, in many situations, women farmers are deliberately favored for them to fill the gender gap.
We meet with the local leaders, local leadership, on the need to have women taken on board in the production process. Secondly, through other programs, we have initiated the 50-50 campaign, where we also identify female lead farmers to take part in the agriculture sector. And that's a plus to us, because now this has changed the dimensions of the women participation in the process.
Ella Wadi, field officer from the Ministry of Agriculture, also agrees that her experience in the field of agriculture, female farmers who take part in conservation agriculture, despite owning very limited land, produce more than men. She says women are committed, and that even if they are tired of fulfilling their gender roles, they still work hard since they focus on the outcome which benefits their families, especially their children. Evidence on the ground shows that women farmers are feeding Malawi despite them having so many challenges, therefore advocating for flexibility in as far as culture and land ownership are concerned would be ultimate. Women in agriculture, especially in rural areas and developing countries, are especially vulnerable since they are highly dependent on local natural resources for their livelihoods, and they are with the responsibility to secure water, food, and fuel for cooking. Therefore, they need special attention by identifying gender-sensitive strategies to respond to the environmental and humanitarian challenges caused by climate change on them, and making available the required message on climate change and new technologies of agriculture would be ideal.